It's a buzzin'. Welcome in day 2 of the NBA draft coverage. The streets are buzzing. You're with us live as we react to every second round pick. I'm excited. The New York Knicks entered the draft now. Last night was a basically a up and down situation, but not too many surprises. Tonight, a few teams have traded to move up. Talks that the New York Knicks might trade to move up. Let's see who they end up with. I'll break down the prospects with y'all and take questions, feedback, comments. We shout you guys out, right? It ain't a draft night without spending it with our Knicks family, man, dating all the way back. You see in the graphic where Patrick Ewing was selected with the first overall pick, right? We're far from in that situation right now, but we still get hype. We still get hype for welcoming in a new player on the squad. There's some talent, first and foremost. There's talent in this second round, and I'm excited to see who we end up with, whether we end up with more than one player. I think we'll stick to the one pick based on what's happening right now, but there's a good chance the Knicks will move up from 50 to find someone that they want. Jamira Watkins is a name out there that's hot at the moment. Leon Rose's son, Sam Rose, is his agent. So we'll see if there's a lot of smoke with that fire. We've got the diehards in the building. Welcome in, everyone. Shez V, Margaret, Calvinist, Johnny's in the house. What's good, Darren? KNYT. Let's go. Knicks diehards. We here. You with CT live. Get your thoughts, questions in. Calvinist says already the draft is deeper than last year's draft. Yeah, so I'll just bring up on that note, best available right now. You guys can give me some names that you might like, or you could hear my thoughts on who I think would be a good ad for the New York Knicks. But there's some borderline first round talent, as there always is at the top. And we've seen the Minnesota Timberwolves auction off the 31st pick to see what they can get, and they've sold that pick to the Phoenix Suns. And so, yeah, there's a lot of players here that some people are trying to get in on. These first couple of players could have gone in the first round, so there is a lot of names to be looking at. Appreciate y'all with us. D. Linda, what's good? Parish Duggar, great to see you. Shokan. Adu Thiero, outside of Jamira Watkins, Adu Thiero is another name that's been reported and credibly linked to the New York Knicks. But my thoughts are there's always a lot of buzz, always a lot of smoke, but rarely do we actually select the player that is really linked to the New York Knicks, So maybe it's a curveball, but I do like Adu Thiero, and I think, he's a great fit, on the squad. We need some physical players with size, with some toughness. I think skill set obviously has to factor in, but I'm not really picking off number one skill set. I'm picking off kind of what the team needs with fit. Guys that will plug and play, come in, can guard the perimeter a bit, can guard 1 through 4, hopefully, if we're lucky. 1, 2, 3, I'll take it. Got people who could guard 2 to 4 positions. Look at the playoffs, Indiana had some ball handlers that could switch on D. I mean, Nemhard's brother, fam, looks like he might go to Phoenix, who tried to move up, and Ryan Nemhard, Andrew Nemhard's brother. I mean, Eric Dixon's out there from Villanova, the burly physical forward who could shoot as well. Sion James is a great name. I like Tyrese Proctor right now. But some housekeeping. The draft will start in about 10 minutes. The first pick of the second round will be made in about 10 minutes from now. Also, I'll try to add some timestamps for replay squad as we react to the Knicks pick later in the stream tonight as well. So great to have you with us live or replay. There's some skilled bigs as well. Vlad Golden. I don't really want us to take a big, to be honest. I'll be a little bit underwhelmed. I know there's some talented bigs, but I feel like they've kind of tried to stack the bigs with Summer League, with James Nagy, you got Huck Porty, you got Mitch, and you got Cat. I'd rather us go for some ball handling or a wing. Yep, you like Alex Tui as well, KNYT. Also, realistically, I think Watkins is more likely than Thiero. Yeah, I do think Thiero is going to go higher, fam, too. Johnny, great comment here. CT, the front office draft speculation is based on salaries and how much they have to pay each player based on their draft number as well, and how that fits into their salary cap manipulations. The good thing is there's less complications with the second round. We're in a situation where the salaries in the second round are basically the same. You can sign a player with the second round pick exception. There might be like a couple of $1,000 differences, but for the most part, we can afford taking some picks here in the second round. What else stands out to me? So this is ESPN's best available. I disagree with a few selections. Janai Broom, I do think he should be higher. Now, I know I just said what I said about bigs, but Janai Broom is a different cat. He's skilled as a big, but he can play 4 and he can play 5. And he's got offensive skill set in the post. He can finish with both hands, both over the shoulder with the hook shots. Brings attitude, brings some dog and physicality as well. I think he could be a great fit next to Cat. If we want to play more double big lineups off the bench with Huck Porty, maybe alongside OG, I do like a Janai Broom as a pick. Ryan Kalkbrenner as well, out of Creighton. Big man with skills offensively. I do think he's probably going to go in the top 5 to 8 picks tonight. So that's something to keep an eye out on as well. Shaz Lanier, a dynamite shooter from downtown off of movement. We know the Knicks could do with a movement shooter, kind of like a Landry Shamet in theory. We'll see if the Knicks bring back Landry. But some shooting, Kobe Brea, Shaz Lanier at the very top. So those guys should probably go in the top 10 as well. So that just speaks to how deep the second round is at the moment. I know the Knicks are at 50. Even if they can get into the 40s, I think they'll get a guy that they like. And also, yeah, Margaret says draft is a lot cheaper than getting someone from free agency. Yeah, I love the word I'll use, sleeper or steal, I mean, a lot of talent's been taken in the second round and come, to really help their teams, Look at the playoffs, you got guys in the second round. Look at, even Oklahoma with AJ Mitchell. He gave them valuable minutes as well. What do you guys think about Nemhard's brother? He's 6 feet tall, undersized. I know we don't need another undersized player. I'm the first person to say that. But if it's a Nemhard, you know they're coming with that DNA. They come with that chip. They can shoot as well. So that's a name that I've heard a lot of people like. Ryan Nemhard. Again, though, undersized. So we'll see what the plan is for Tyler Kolek. He's got to be feeling like, 12 months ago he was drafted, Pacome Dardier. They're going to be sort of feeling like tonight, on the 1-year anniversary of getting drafted. Like, hopefully their time is coming, with the new coach coming in. And obviously the new player tonight is going to be excited about coming to a winning team. You get selected by the New York Knicks, who just came out of the Eastern Conference Finals. As well as New York City, you got to be hyped. You got to be hyped for this situation, right? I mean, some players did get a few opportunities. I mean, Pacome Dardier started on opening night. Tyler Kolek got some sporadic minutes, but obviously, I don't think we're going to bring back Campaign. So as 1 year goes by, I think Tyler Kolek has moved up a spot in the pecking order and the rotation. Also, you would think Pacome Dardier if Shamit comes back or he doesn't, you think Mohamed Diawara should come in and at least give us, 15 minutes a night so that we can keep Mikal Bridges' minutes down as well. And maybe the rookie coming out of tonight, has to earn their keep, play some G League. But, if we're playing a deeper rotation, that gives an opportunity for them to come in and back up these guys. Some other shooting guards that I like, John Tonje and Bryce Williams, are names that I like personally that we could keep an eye out for as well. And in regards to Australian wing, Alex Tui, out of the NBL that I know very familiar with, he is a guy that's a two-way player, is great off the ball, is developing a catch-and-shoot three. He would be a solid addition. We'll see how that plays out. I do think he could help the team right away. Lionel says Knicks need a sharpshooter off the bench. And Walter Blackman says we will keep the pick. Yep. David says Leon makes some trades. Get us some first to trade for Giannis. I agree with that. Hopefully, maybe later in free agency. But even tonight, trades can happen, right? We haven't heard much buzz about Eric Dixon, man. Villanova. You would think that with the Villanova core, there would be more links to a guy that could help us in the front court. Power forward Eric Dixon, a Julius Randle type player who could put the ball on the floor, get downhill, can pop the three as well. I think there would be minutes for an Eric Dixon. I'm not going to lie, because he's an experienced prospect. He's a bit older, and we know the New York Knicks like some older prospects so that they're a bit more seasoned. The other thing is Precious Achiuwa. I mentioned the center spot before, guys, but with Precious Achiuwa and his free agency uncertain, we need somebody to come in and play the power forward spot. I mean, OG Anunoby as the main power forward with Cat. We definitely got to look at a guy that could play three, play some four. I think that would be the glaring need. Yeah, we need some creation and ball handling as well. Maybe we feel like we have that in Tyler Kolek. We'll see. Maybe there's a nice free agent waiting for us, Tyus Jones. Maybe a Keon Ellis. I tell you though, tonight will reveal kind of what the Knicks are thinking in terms of what they need to add and what they will look at in free agency as well. One of the reasons I don't expect us to pick up a center tonight, I will be surprised, because they're bringing over James Nagy, and I do think he's going to make the roster. I do think he's going to make it. Isaac, great to see you. Calvinist Premil says, I like Proctor, who has good size, to pair up with Deuce. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Now, Tyrese Proctor's 6'5", 6'6", could play the 1, could play the 2, play next to Brunson. Great shooting off the catch and also off the bounce. Plays okay defense. Needs to bulk up a little bit. Is a little skinny, but huge pedigree coming in out of Duke. Was a first-round pick last season, but decided to go back to college and had a huge season with the Duke Blue Devils, obviously making the Final Four. So I'm just going to refresh the update, see if the New York Knicks have swung a trade. Let's see if we can move up. I'm really looking forward just to seeing how the whole second round plays out, because I know these prospects a lot more. I've basically done a lot more research on the second round than I did the first round, based on where the Knicks were selecting, and also, these players that I feel like could help us. Let's honor the throwback where Nikola Jokic got selected in the second round, right? Who could forget? Manu Ginobili, some of the best players of all time, have come in out of the second round. So let's honor that, and let's hope we can catch some magic with this situation. A diamond in the rough, someone who's been looked over doubted, slept on their whole career. We need someone coming in hungry. We need someone coming in with a chip on their shoulder to prove people wrong. That's what I'm looking at. Do we have a chance at Kobe Bryant? If we can move up, so what ESPN have got Bryant ranked right now. Where do they have Bryant? Oh, ranked 17. So that's basically 47. Now, I do think he's going to go higher than 47, but that just speaks to there are some talent here. And the Knicks, if they could get into the 40s, we will have a chance. Let me bring up the teams. So our best chance at moving up early is the Charlotte Hornets, a team that we have a good relationship with in the front office. So I think the Knicks will be looking to maybe get 33, 34. Getting one of those would be perfect. You have your pick over Kobe Bryant, Tyrese Proctor. You could choose Zion James, Jamir Watkins. That would be the ideal for me if we could get one of those. But it's going to cost us. It's going to cost a couple of future seconds, I would think. Now, the New York Knicks don't want to send out cash. So I do correct myself based on what I've learned over the last 24 hours. If a team was to offer cash considerations, it hard caps you at the second apron. So let that sink in. You know, the CBA got so many booby traps right now. Even if you just want to give a team cash, you get hard capped at the second apron. So the Knicks don't want to be giving out any cash. So the best way we can move up is to package some future seconds. And the Knicks have 7 future second round picks that we can dangle. Well, not all of them, of course, but a couple. I would do it because I think now's the time, guys. We need to strike. If we can get a guy that's a difference maker like a Tyrese Proctor or a Kobe Bryant, why not? Part with some of these future seconds, you know? Yeah, Darren likes Tyrese Proctor as well. A good pickup. Yep. Good season out of Duke. Two years in college, which is the sweet spot. More experience. We know the front office appreciates that. But also he comes in with some playmaking and the shooting and with some size as well. Could play the point guard if Brunson's off the floor. He could play alongside Brunson as well. Monkey Wrench Bill. Yes, let's go. D Bucket says, I want Jamir Watkins from Florida State. We're going to have to move up, though. Yeah, that's the feeling right now. As we do a time check, fam, it looks like the second round might be kicking off any second right now. We've got the sound bites. We've got everything ready to go. New York Knicks enter the draft with their first pick tonight, pick 50 at the moment, and we'll see what plays out. There's a lot less hoopla tonight, man. I was watching the Barlows on NBA Big Board, and the arena was basically empty compared to last night. So the Phoenix Suns, who got to trade up to get the 31st pick, Minnesota auctioned off that pick to the highest bidder, and it looks like the Phoenix Suns have traded up to take Rasheer Fleming, which was the best prospect available from St. Joe's. So Phoenix getting aggressive in the second round. And as Margaret said earlier, and you guys know, second round draft picks are quite valuable at the top of the draft because they don't come with guaranteed money, but you can get a borderline first round guy on the cheap. So the Phoenix Suns got aggressive, and I'm kind of a bit jealous about that one, but they've obviously got a lot more work to do than we have to build a winning team right now. So we're live with the second round. It will be a bit slower, so get your popcorn, get your drink. I've got my drink here, ready to go, and we wait as we react to each pick coming through. They are going to drag this out. Obviously, been over the 2 days. Uh, we got the next team on the clock, fam. Yeah, Proctor can play alongside either backcourt guy, but I like the fact that he can shoot and he can play both sides. Um, that would be the dream for me. Tyrese Proctor signed me up. He's got international experience as well. If you guys don't know, he plays for Australia in the FIBA, a lot of the FIBA tournaments. So yeah, he's a rough rider. Big college career so far as well. I think he's ready to come in as a sleeper in the second round and maybe take some people by surprise. Well, some people have kind of slept on him a little bit. He did have an underwhelming freshman year, came back, um, and obviously, Andrew Nemhard wasn't a guy that was highly touted, and look at him now. Everyone's trying to find the next Nemhard. Jameer Watkins, comparisons to Aaron Neesmith type guy. Strong, physical, can play make a bit, can score off the dribble as well. I mean, that speaks to how Indiana have drafted recently. A lot of people are looking for the next Neesmith and Andrew Nemhard. Right, it's crazy. Hopefully we can find our next guy. But we do have a Deuce McBride. Shout out to Deuce. We have a Tyler Kolek, who I think should have got more of a chance. Right, we should have a lot more people talking about Tyler Kolek. He did win the G League Showcase MVP. So shout out to Kolek. Had some great run in the G League. Is capable of scoring 30 if he has to. But also we know his bread and butter is diming, setting people up. Crafty cross-court passes with the left hand. He can set guys up. Obviously, he's 24 now. I think coming into 25. So Tyler Kolek's ready, right? He's seasoned enough to play, right? Whether he's good enough, we're going to find out. But he's seasoned enough to play, and he should be playing. I like the fact that when Tyler Kolek got minutes, whether it was garbage time or not, he was actually being a point guard, a floor general. He was getting guys in their spots. He was saying, get over there, waving guys off as well. You like that confidence when it comes to to playing. I'm also keen, obviously, to look at. We've got some Australian prospects. We've got four that are slated to go in this second round that I've covered a little bit and I know very well. We'll see how that plays out. Rocco Zikarski, the big man, 7'4", out of Australia. There's talk that the LA Lakers are looking to try to get him with 45. Alex Tui, who has some links to the New York Knicks Summer League coach. And we've obviously got Tyrese Proctor, which we spoke about. And we have Lachlan Olbrich, who's a physical forward center who could score, he can dribble, he can play make, kind of a little bit of an Alfred Şengün, skilled big man type that could be drafted tonight as well. Yo, what's good, M. Gene? Yeah, Jameer Watkins, the shot is the concern. Shokan says Jameer can't shoot like Neesmith, but he reminds me of Shump. I'll still take that, I'll take it. If they're great at one side of the floor, as long as you can depend on that, we're picking late in the second round. If we can find a guy that's a solid defender or offensive-minded guy, they can fight for minutes. Altango, what's good? We need some guys to push as well. Push for minutes, push some guys. We've got a new coach coming in. I think it's going to be, earn your keep right now because reputations are out the door. As soon as you get a new boss or a new manager in the job, a new coach coming in, everyone that was surviving on reputation before, that should change because you've got someone new coming in. Yo, J Dragon, take it easy. Great to see you. Great to have you with us. Stanley says a 3 and D guy like Watkins would be my choice. He has OG's frame, but can't shoot. That's the catch, you know. There's a lot of guys that do one thing, but they need to develop the other thing. But have no fear, it's possible, right? People have developed a shot later in their career. Look at Steve Nash. Look at Jason Kidd. Look at Ryan. Look at Ryan Dunn from last season, man. A lot of people said, "Oh, the Knicks, they should take him, but he can't shoot." He came in, the shot looked great. It regressed a little bit, but he's shown that in 1 year he can really develop that skill. Don't forget our guy Deuce McBride. Like when Deuce came in, he wasn't known as a shooter. Now he's a knockdown shooter as well. So if a guy is willing to put in the hard work and they're capable, it can happen. Um, Deuce McBride came in as a defensive specialist. So, there's hope. I guess that's what workouts are for, just scouting the guy all over the year and understanding their mindset, understanding that what it takes that they want to get better at, interviewing these guys. Like it could go two ways. One prospect could say, yo, I'm just so happy to make the NBA. I'm living my dream. I'm happy to be in New York. I can't wait. One other prospect might say, you know what? I'm not satisfied. I'm in the NBA. I've achieved my dream, but I'm not satisfied. I'm coming in to win. I'm coming in to help. I'm coming in to learn. I'm coming in to back up my vets. That's the mindset I prefer because, just because they made the NBA, you don't want them to fall off, Their career is just beginning. So we have Rasheer Fleming at 32. Um, so the Phoenix Suns, select 31 because the Celtics were going to pick Rasheer Fleming at 32. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Phoenix Suns took 31 because they knew that the Celtics wanted to get Fleming, and they seized the opportunity to get up. As we see, best available, Rasheer Fleming from St. Joe's was right there. So the clock has officially started now. Thank God. We've got 3 minutes till Minnesota will make that pick official. Anthony wants the Knicks to trade up, as many of us as well. Salute to Paula. I think we will trade up. Let's check these picks again. I think realistically, call up Charlotte. See if you can get 33 or 34. I think that should be possible if you want to package a couple of future seconds. I don't think Philly's going to give up their pick because they need talent. Maybe you can get one of Brooklyn's. I think the Spurs have also taken quite a few players. Maybe you can get that one. OKC, as we saw last night, OKC is always open to kick that can down the road. They've got so many players already. Maybe you can get to 44. I don't think that's going to get you Tyrese Proctor though. He's going to be gone. But you will be able to get one of those wings. And then just a couple of spots down, we got Milwaukee Bucks, Orlando, Cleveland, the Knicks at 50. Michael Drake, salute. Yeah, Jay, free throws. That's a big thing, man. Free throws. If you are a average 3-point shooter, but you're a real high percentage free throw shooter, that's a sign that you can improve that area. If a player is a really good 3-point shooter but an awful free throw shooter, that's concerning. So you look for those traits to see if they line up. You know, free throws should be the easiest shot in basketball. You know, there's no excuses. That's something that you can just focus on in the gym with the free throws. Uh, we have a lot of guys that stunk at free throws this season, and hopefully they can come back better. I mean, late in games, it's critical that you can knock down these free throws. I'm looking at Mitch. What's good, Delmar? Great to have everyone with us. We're buzzing right now, 200 in the chat. We're streaming live on X and YouTube, reacting to these picks as the Phoenix Suns are about to select Rashira Fleming with the first pick of the second round. Look, he was a guy that should have gone first round, so understandably, Phoenix got aggressive to get up, fam, and Minnesota capitalize and got some future assets for this one, man. So from what I'm hearing, the Knicks don't have, like, they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. As always, they're going to wait to see how this second round unfolds. If they're hearing that one of their guys might get taken by someone, then they'll get aggressive and then they'll move up or try to move up. But for now, they have pick 50. There will be some guys there that they like, but obviously moving up is better, fam. Moving up and getting the guy that and guaranteeing that you can get that guy. Mets Nick says free throws are mental mostly. Yeah, I agree. I think it's repetition. That's just something that's like, you know, you work on the reps and it becomes muscle memory. But also, yeah, focus, you know. A lot of the time in the games, especially late, you're fatigued. You know, in the case of Thibodeau and the Knicks under Tibbs, they might be very fatigued. So late down the stretch, yeah, you know, you're breathing heavy, and it's more difficult, right? So the first pick of the second round is in, guys. And out of St. Joe's, Rashira Fleming is headed to the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix are getting aggressive right now. Let's see what happens in free agency. Aside from tonight, guys, let me know what you want to do, what you think the Knicks should do in free agency, right? Limited funds to spend. The second round pick exception tonight. We'll have a couple of veteran minimum spots. The taxpayer exception for 5.7 can get us a vet if they choose to go into the second apron. However, if they don't want to use that taxpayer exception, the New York Knicks are looking at this right now. What's up, Buzzer Beater? Great to have you with us. We're looking at basically a core 9. If we bring back Landry maybe gets one of those vet spots. Tyler Kolek takes a step into Cam's spot. And you're looking at a core 9 rotation. And then you've got guys on the bench, which is Huck Porty, Dardier, Kevin Mack, and a couple of spots for a veteran's minimum, and one of the exceptions, like I said. Right now, if they don't pull off a trade, they could always make that trade to free up some salary. But it does sound like they're comfortable running it back, you know, and seeing what happens right now. The Barry method, yeah, underarm. Yeah, the Barry method of the free throw. Look, players have an ego as well. I think it's going to go viral if they did try the Rick Barry method. But Rick did actually reach out and say, "I'm happy to help with that." Anthony says re-sign Shamet. Yep. Yeah, Tyus Jones, that's a great one. I agree. Tyus Jones, you know, is a veteran with experience on the cheap, could come in and help for sure. I think I do like a Trey Man. Maybe a Seth Curry as another veteran a guard that can shoot it as well. You could get them on the minimum, We do need more shooting, I'm not going to lie. Shamet's not enough. We need another knockdown shooter. Whether we do get one tonight or whether we go for a Seth Curry, maybe we could get a Malik Beasley if we're willing to pull off a trade. There's even talk that Tim Hardaway Jr. might obviously be available as a minimum, as he's an expiring contract, right? Could third time be a charm for Tim Hardaway? I wouldn't spend any more than the minimum. Brian says Gary Trent. Yeah, top of my list. He is at the top. What I'm hearing though, the Bucks want to bring him back, maybe on an $8 to $10 million deal. So the Knicks can't afford that, unfortunately. We might need to go cheaper. I wouldn't be shocked if we do trade one of our rookies as well. A decision has to be made on Dardier and Kolek. If they feel like they've seen enough and that these guys, they want to flip them for somebody else, I won't be surprised. But I do think they deserve a shot. I think they deserve, a look before we make any decisions, right? Unfortunately, they didn't. Their rookie year was basically a scratch. They didn't get enough minutes. So Darren's coming through with the goods. The Boston Celtics select Noah Pender with the 32nd pick and the second pick of the second round tonight. And it's being traded to the Orlando Magic. So we have some movement coming through now, baby. We're live. And the second round is popping. Orlando getting aggressive right now. Noah Pender is headed to the Orlando Magic. Guys, that's a good pick. Big man out of France. So what does that mean for Mo Wagner's free agency? That's something to pay attention to. No doubt. Mo Wagner was one of the guys that I had on the graphic that could be available via free agency. So Orlando will trade 46, 57, and a next year's second, and a 27 second to Boston. Holy moly. That's a haul for the Boston Celtics. Now I can understand why Boston got out of that pick, because they slide down a little. They get 46, 57. They get next year's second, and they get a 27 second just for one second round guy, Noah Pender. So, but look, Orlando can afford to do that. They're throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks right now. And that's what you do, fam. I'm not going to lie. Even if there was a guy that I liked, I wouldn't like the Knicks trading 4 seconds for just one guy. It's a second round guy at the end of the day. It's not worth it. It's not worth giving up 4 seconds for just one other second. 4 seconds should get you up into the late first round. But they obviously like that guy. Johnny says more Frenchmen getting paid. Was Shamet a Tibbs guy or a Leon Rose West client? Both, actually. From what I see, I think Tibbs really, really liked Shamet. He liked his work ethic. He was a true professional. Took it very seriously when he rehabilitated and came back from the injury. And he liked Shamet's work ethic in training camp. Buzzer says CP3 with the taxpayer mid-level or Tyus. I think Tyus is more realistic. I do think CP3 wants to stay out west with his family. He's talked about that. Stanley says too soon to give up on Kolek and Dardier unless Knicks can get a better rookie point guard. Yeah, it's just about clearing the logjam, maybe clearing the decks. If you don't feel like Dardier can be, a ready enough wing in the next 2 years, his rookie year will be evaporating. So you have to look at it like that. Can Dardier help us in the next 2 years as his rookie contract continues, because then you're just going to have to pay him if you're not getting, quality use out of that. Johnny, let's go. If the Knicks pick up Janai Broom, you'll give us the super chat. You don't need to, but hey, we'll celebrate. I like Janai Broom. I think he'll bring some toughness. He'll bring some toughness, and I do think there's some lineups where you could play, next to Cat, 4 and the 5. For those that don't know, Janai Broom coming out of Auburn, huge season with the program in college. Obviously, was in the Final Four, or he was in the Final Four, and a bruiser in the paint, can finish under the basket, can put the ball on the floor as well. Can work on his corner 3. David says we need some athleticism off our bench as well. Yeah, some guys that can get downhill, transition, needs to get better. Very slow team this season. Ball movement needs to get better though, but we need to get some fast break buckets going. Look at Indiana. I know, the last show I didn't have a chance to actually acknowledge and congratulate OKC. I think they were the best team during the regular season. I think they had some ups and downs in the playoffs, but they were a young team. But I do think Indiana took more games than I expected them to. So, it was wide open, and I think next season is going to be our chance. It's going to be our chance. Yeah, Eric Dixon, I like Eric Dixon a lot. I think he'll be a great pick, and I think he'll genuinely be, a high chance of being available at pick 50. The Knicks will have good intel as well coming out of Villanova. They do like an older prospect, Brian, as well. They like a guy that's going to come in, plug and play right now. And I think that's obvious, right? We don't have time for a rookie to sit on the squad for a few years. We're trying to win now. So we don't want to bring in someone that we have to keep paying on a rookie contract and they can't help. So bring in a guy that's more seasoned. Yeah, they might not have the highest upside, but the East is wide open. If they can find someone that can give us some minutes, I'll lean towards that way. Stanley Broom sets great screens, man. Bone crunching screens. He's physical. He's got that dog in him, and we'll get into it with people. But he's only 6'9". So we have a pick in, ladies and gentlemen. And pick 33, Sion James, a player that I like, and that's a great pick. So we'll see where that pick is going. It does look like the Charlotte Hornets, I think, might be keeping that pick, as we'll confirm as that comes through. But Sion James, man, out of Duke, he's built like an OG Anunoby. Again, that seems to be the trend now. People are looking for an OG Anunoby type, a guy that can get physical, can get into it. So we're getting closer and closer to our Knicks pick. Maybe we're going to move up to get 34. Hopefully now that the Hornets have made one selection, hopefully they decide to offload the next one. 2 picks back to back. David, last year the format for this NBA draft changed up over 2 nights now. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think last night it was dragged out a little bit. I like the fact that it's over 2 nights. Teams can take their time. I think more so the guys in the second round deserve their shine. It was kind of an afterthought back in the old format where it was like the first round would take like 3 hours, and they would try to cram the second round in like 30 minutes. And some of the prospects are like, trying to enjoy the moment, getting drafted with their family, and some of them are up in the bleachers. Some of them, can't even make it in the building. Now tonight is all about them. It's all about the second round. Last night, these guys had their time. So, let's see. Sho Khan says, let's get that pick. Let's get pick 34 out of Charlotte. Leon Rose, what is happening? Also, I didn't cop any of the feed from last night, but apparently they were showing a lot of the team's war room with the front office together and getting that kind of insight. Not that we'll ever get that with us, but I would love to see what the Knicks war room is situated like. Probably got James Dolan in there, maybe. So yes, the Charlotte Hornets take a great pick, Sion James out of Duke. A versatile forward that can finish in transition, is very, very strong, physical, and is developing a shot as well. So I think he'll fit well with the Charlotte Hornets. I give that pick an A. That's a pick that I would be very happy if the Knicks had got in that spot. But obviously there's a lot more coming. Joe, I think we are going to move up, but no word yet. No confirmation yet. Green says, my question is, will the Knicks ever utilize or develop the drafts that they select? They have a history of not doing so. I think history is changing now, about to change, and that was one of the reasons they decided to fire Thibodeau. Maybe a change in direction. Thibodeau would always prefer veterans, and winning in the regular season. But as we've seen, as Leon Rose and the front office understand, winning in the regular season isn't all that. You can finish fifth and make the finals. You can finish in the seventh spot. You should be using the regular season to prepare and develop and tinker with lineups and make mistakes and try end of game situations and adjustments so that when the playoffs come, you're fully prepared and you've got, X, Y, and Z all ready to go. The fact that the Knicks were switching things up on the fly, late in the playoffs, trying lineups that they've never tried before, it did look, disjointed. So as we wait for the noise on the second Charlotte pick, Buzzer asks CT, who are your top three prospects from best to worst the Knicks should draft? So I'm going to say number one, as I just pull up the best available for y'all. I think Tyrese Proctor. They've got him as the 11th best available guy out of Duke, right? I think Tyrese Proctor would be an excellent fit. Jameer Watkins, and I'm going to say either Kobe Brea or Chaz Lanier. It's close. Adu Thiero's there. So yeah, I will say Tyrese Proctor. I will say Jameer Watkins, and then I'll say Adu Thiero. But there's plenty more, man. I do like Kobe Brea, Eric Dixon. Eric Dixon I really like. John Tonje, and I like Bryce Williams, who's further down. There's a lot of potential steals. I really like Elijah Martin, but he's 6'2". If he was just a couple of inches taller, he would be going right now. He's athletic, man. He's Deuce McBride, but a stronger, bigger version of Deuce with hops. Okay, we've got great buzz coming through the building. Everyone smash that like button. Ryan Kalkbrenner is the selection from the Charlotte Hornets. Wow. So great pickup. Another center. They obviously traded Mark Williams yesterday. Man, that's a great pick. A skilled big out of Creighton. Ryan Kalkbrenner is going to go to the Charlotte Hornets, it appears. So, going to confirm, yeah, Kalkbrenner to the Charlotte Hornets. Jake Fisher's reporting. While the Hornets originally intended to trade one of these two picks, Charlotte is now keeping Creighton center Ryan Kalkbrenner. So, hey, unfortunately, guys, we weren't able to get one of these Charlotte picks. As I told y'all, there's a lot of value in the second round, and Charlotte have decided to keep this guy. But have no fear, there's more guys coming, because Kalkbrenner wasn't really a guy that he wasn't a guy on the Knicks radar. He wasn't a guy that I wanted the Knicks to take. So at least he's off the board now, and that slides some of these other guys further down. Yeah, Jameer Watkins, Kobe Brea coming out. Anthony says Knicks trade up to 35 right now. We'll see, man. Will Philly help us out? We're willing to give them some assets. We're willing to give them some second round picks in the future. El Tango says Hornets getting a mob on the low. Yeah, is Yusuf Nurkic on Charlotte? I lose track. I lose track of who the Charlotte's got right now. I do think he is. Michael Drake says, CT, let's get Kobe Brea. Please, Knicks. I have faith. Have faith, guys. We're going to get someone. I feel like it's coming. Soon. There is a chance there are some of these teams that are willing to skip down, and we're willing to come to play with a few seconds, right? We can't sit here waiting for our guy to slip to 50. But man, we worked out a lot of guys, man. I know some of these guys worked out for 15 to 20 teams. A lot of these second rounders, it's like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. There are so many players now with various skill sets. And the second round is like a melting pot right now. I guess there are a lot of wings. This is a very wing-centric second round. You got RJ Louise, obviously still there. Hunter Salas, I like. Micah Peavy, who was coached by Patrick Ewing at Georgetown. He would be an excellent pick, I think, for the New York Knicks. I do like Javon Small's game, but like his name, he's a little too small for the New York Knicks, in my opinion. I want size, but he's one of the more polished prospects in this entire second round. Don't be surprised if Javon Small goes very soon. Right? He can do it all as a guard. He can score, he can play make, he can assist. He's just too undersized, I think, for what we need right now. Yeah, Markovic also, let's not forget about him. His issue is his physicality. He's not NBA ready in terms of the body type. So 35's on the clock. What's the clock look like? The pick is in. We're going to find out any second what is happening. Going to refresh this baby. Holy moly. The Philadelphia 76ers have selected Janai Broom. Johnny, our guy, is gone. Let's find out. Hopefully they're sending it to the New York Knicks, but I doubt it. Good pickup for Philly, because I think they're going to lose Gershwan Yabusele. So Janai Broom, a perfect substitute for Yabusele, who they're going to lose in free agency, I think. Possibly the Knicks could steal Yabusele in free agency. What do y'all think about him? He can't play great defense, but he's very versatile. A more offensive Precious Achua. Would y'all take Yabusele? Lou Boogie says Adu Thiero is what we need. Yep. He's still on the board. This is good. This is good for us. So, Janai Broom's gone, but out of all of these guys, I could only really see the Knicks take Sion James or Janai Broom. A lot of these other guys, yeah, it's okay that they're going to another team. Now, next up, we're waiting on the pick from Brooklyn, pick 36. There's so much movement. Yeah, Stanley says Yabusele can really shoot the three and he can rebound. Yeah, he's got good speed for a forward. He's not awful defensively, but he's not great. I don't know if we could play him next to Karl Anthony Towns. That's the major concern. Could we play him alongside Cat, or is he just going to be a guy off the bench to come in and back up Mitch and Cat? Obviously, I'm expecting a big year for Alex. For Huck Porty. Krillian says Alex Tui and keep it moving. CT, great to see you, man. Yeah, Alex Tui. We'll see where he goes, but I think he's going to go pretty soon. Shez V says, I think Dolan's watching us on YouTube right now live as he sits in that war room. Says Shez V. Yeah, he's waiting for our intel, right? Who should we select? Says Dolan. Wesley waiting to pound his fist on the table. It says, go get me Kobe Bryant. Right, I can't believe Tyrese Proctor is still on the board, man. What are we doing? Right. Like, I actually think we got a little lucky because Philly have Jared McCain, Tyrese Maxey, and Quentin Grimes. Otherwise, Philly would have been tripping to not select Tyrese Proctor right now. Let's see what Brooklyn do. They got a lot of guards from last night. So maybe Detroit might be waiting to get Tyrese Proctor, fam. Because I do think that they're going to possibly lose Dennis Schroeder in free agency. There's teams lining up to pay Dennis Schroeder. So I don't know if Tyrese is going to get past Detroit. We need Adu Thiero is coming on Knicks Twitter right now. Hashtag we need Adu Thiero. Okay, so this pick is heading to Phoenix. Darren, appreciate you. Yeah, based on some movements, Phoenix getting busy with Brooklyn's picks because Brooklyn have just got too many. Are Phoenix going to pick up Tyrese Proctor? They might lose Tyus Jones. Yep. If I'm Phoenix, I'm taking... I mean, man, they could do with some shooting as well. I would take Kobe Bryant or Shaz Lanier if I'm Phoenix. If I'm being honest. They don't really need Jameer Watkins. They've already got Ryan Dunn. So yeah, if I'm Phoenix right now, I'm taking Shaz Lanier or I'm taking Kobe Bryant. Fingers crossed they slip. Or they could be looking at Tyrese. And the selection's in. It's Adu Thiero. He's gone. Damn. Okay, so that's a pickup. That's a pickup. That's a good pickup for Phoenix, man. The Knicks didn't move up to get Thiero. So is it Jameer Watkins, guys? Is it Jameer Watkins? Okay, did the Lakers take this pick? Yes, the Lakers got in and are taking Adou Thiero with the 36th pick, as reported by Building Blocks, the senior reporter out here, and Darren keeping us up to speed. Right, the Lakers getting aggressive, fam. The Lakers also have 45, I think. Looking at Rocco Zakarski. Yep, so appreciate the chat also updating us on this one, man. I got so many windows refreshing, but hey, 1,000 minds are better than one coming together. So great pickup, Adou Thiero, a player that the Knicks were admiring, but obviously they didn't see the value in moving up enough. Otherwise, they would have tried to move some more second round picks. Remember, it is a smart move to keep a hold of more of these seconds. We don't know what's going to happen at the trade deadline. We don't know what's going to happen, if Giannis Antetokounmpo requests a trade. We need to keep some of these picks. So some of these teams could be like, yeah, we could let you move up, but we want 3 of your future seconds. That might be too much. That might be too much. So what are we going to do, fam? We're only 13 picks away from the New York Knicks at 50. Are we going to get in the mid-50s, mid-40s? Washington are there at 40. That could be an interesting one. Let's see how it plays out. I'm looking at maybe 44 with the OKC pick as well. So yeah, in regards, Isaac, in regards to buying a pick, unfortunately there's complications now where if we are sending cash to somebody, according to the CBA, we get hard capped at the second apron now. So the Knicks will try to avoid that. In previous years, you could buy a pick. So it's complicated. Stanley says Knicks will make a deal with San Antonio at 38. Hopefully that is the case, right? I mean, man, if Tyrese Proctor's there and we miss out, Kobe Brea, there's some great fits. There's some great fits right now. The Pistons will select Shaz Lanier with pick 37. Okay, so that's a solid pick. That's a great pick for them, but good for us. That is good for us. Chaz Lanier is still there, but is gone to the Detroit Pistons now, and he wasn't a player that I don't think the Knicks were favoring as much, right? So let's put together our board right now. Who we got at the top? I think it's got to be Kobe Brea, best available, Tyrese Proctor, and obviously Jameer Watkins. Who else we got still available? We got Bogo Markovic, Eric Dixon. Now things are going to get real interesting, right? Will one of the Australian guys get taken? Shaz Lanier is out off the board. Bogo Markovic. Maybe San Antonio will be looking at him as an international guy. I know a lot of guys went back to college, man. The second round would be even deeper than what it currently is. So we've got the Spurs coming up. Michael Drake says, why we can't move up. Pistons need shooting, Stanley. Yet Shaz is a sniper out here. Yeah, that's a great pickup for them. But Kobe's still on the board. Who do you guys want? Jameer or Kobe, says Michael Drake. Yeah, I feel like we will pick in the 40s. It won't cost as much to move up a little bit. If you got to think about it, from 50 to like 44, it's not a lot. It's 6 spots. So, you got to think maybe one future second, Maybe even a team's just happy to move back down. Um, yeah, I agree, Margaret. There will be some good undrafted players as well. Knicks will be fine. There will be some good undrafted players, 100%. Darren says the 45th pick and cash is headed to Minnesota in this trade. Okay. So Minnesota are going to pick up 45 in this trade. Man, Minnesota have been doing quite well. Minnesota's been making some solid pickups. Yeah, we've got Shaz Lanier now off the board. Adu Thiero. Look, I'm only really worried about Thiero being off the board now. We've still got Jameer Watkins, still got Tyrese Proctor, and still got some others. The Lakers are getting busy in the second round too. They're trying to fill up their big man depth. They might be looking at Roko Zakarski as well. Yeah, Adu Thiero to the Lakers. He's an insane athlete. Hell of a pickup by LA. Hell of a pickup. Jay Giant, what's good? Yuri Ark, great to see you. Indiana's trading. Okay. Indiana, what's happening? What's popping? Okay, Indiana Pacers will select Cam Jones with the 38th pick, right? So the 38th pick has been received by the Pacemakers. And in terms of the prospect, Cam Jones, I'm not too worried about that. I'm not worried about Cam Jones. Not worried about Cam Jones going as well. So Indiana is getting Cam Jones. Shaz Lanier is obviously going to go to the other team, the Detroit Pistons. Yeah, so yeah, things are happening now, guys. Things are popping. What's going to happen next up? Lou says, "Good pickup. Cam Jones is clutch." Yeah, man. There's some sneaky talent still around. I think. Like, I mean, the fact that Eric Dixon's like gonna maybe slip to 50, like that's a no-brainer for me. If Eric Dixon, assuming everyone else is gone, if Eric Dixon falls to 50, you know that's a talent. He could play minutes. We'll see what else plays out, but I mean, also in this second round, there's some pros, there's some current pros overseas. Paula says that's why you don't just give away your second round picks. They are assets. Yeah, they are. They are. You know, they're more important than they ever have before because, you know, CBA now, you know, second apron stuff, killing teams right now. Also, as I said earlier, the second round salaries are very low. You know, there's no guarantees. You could sign a guy to a 2-year non-guarantee. If he doesn't work out, see you later. If he works out, he could become, you know, your franchise starting player, or one of the starting players. But look, Indiana's doing a little, you know, insurance policy because he got no Tyrese Halliburton for next season, right? Yuri Ark with a super chat says, I like the Knicks aren't doing anything right now. Don't rush. Don't do anything stupid. Second round picks are way more valuable right now. So I like this. Yeah, they're playing it cool, and that's the reports come through. They are going to play it by ear and see who's on the board as it goes by, you know? And they're talking to teams, you know? They'll call Like, let's say the next team, they'll call them and say, all right, are you going to take Tyrese Proctor? If you are, we want him. We'll move up. If they don't say they're going to select Tyrese Proctor, then you wait and you keep going, and maybe the guy falls to where you're at. Yeah, that's the hope. That's the hope, Isaac. The way it's looking, there will be some dudes fall out of the draft because guess what? After it gets to 50, a lot of these guys ring their agent or their agent rings the club and says, you know what, don't take me. We're happy to go undrafted. And then bang, they can choose where they want to go. They could choose to be on a non-guaranteed undrafted deal with the New York Knicks. Building blocks says Knicks are going to draft Alex Tui. We'll see if that plays out, fam. What do you think? What do you think about that personally? It could be Lachlan Olbrich. But Lachlan Olbrich could be an undrafted guy as well. I know the Knicks are close. They've been following all of these guys. The Knicks have one of the deepest scouting departments in the league. They're all over the world. They've got scouts in Europe, scouts in Africa, scouts in Australia, scouts in Asia, everywhere. Man, we still got Jameer Watkins on the board as well. So is the pick in? Looks like the pick is in. We wait for it to pop. There's a lot of calling right now too. There's a lot of teams calling. That's why things are a bit, crazy. Okay, the Raptors are targeting Elijah Martin with the 39th pick in the NBA draft. That's a great pick, but for both sides. That's a good pick for us and a good pick for the Raptors. NCAA champion Elijah Martin out of Florida is headed to the 6. Now that's a good pick because he wasn't a guy that, really is great for us. He's undersized, but a good fit. Yeah, another deuce, Shokan. Yeah, I said that earlier, 100%. But he's strong. He's built like he reminds me a lot of like Lance Stevenson, man. He can Lance make you dance, get downhill, finish down, finish above the rim. At 6'2". Well, he's really 6'3", close to. I think they report 6'2" and 3/4. But yeah, Elijah Martin, I think he'll fit. They need some toughness with the Raptors. Yeah, like Stanley says, typical Raptors pick. Looks like they might be trading RJ. They got Grady Dick, who's soft, pause, and they need some toughness. I think Elijah Martin gives that for them. Just 10 more picks, Yuri. Or maybe not. But I like where things are going, man. I like where things are going because the further we go down, there's more guys on the board that I like still. Jameer Watkins, Tui's still there. Proctor's still there. Tonje, Eric Dixon, Kobe's still there. You still got Kobe Sanders as well. Micah Peavy. Amari's still there. Interesting. Very interesting right now. Right? Yeah, I hit you with the quick pause on that one, man. Hit you with the pause. Elijah Martin, he's a 5-year guard, man, who just won the championship with Florida. So they need some more experience. over there with the Raptors. Scotty Barnes. Dink Pate. Dink Pate is a name. Someone's got to be willing to trade one of these picks, man, just for maybe one future second. And I mean, right now, Tyrese Proctor's right there. Why are these teams passing up on Tyrese? That's a surprise for me, guys. Not gonna lie. I mean, look, Tierra, I get it. Shaz Lanier, I get it. But really, I'm not taking Cam Jones and Elijah Martin ahead of Tyrese. That's stupid in my opinion. What do you guys think? A Ransom says Knicks not active. Why? I think they're just holding on to they're clutching their pearls right now. They're holding on to these assets for maybe something bigger. So with the 40th pick, the New Orleans Pelicans will select Micah Peavy. Micah Peavy is headed to the 40th pick, the Pelicans. Good pick. That's a prospect that I really like. We'll see what plays out. Kobe's still there. RJ Louise. Krillian's Underlow says, want to help JB trade up and draft Alex Tui. Jay Giant says, whoever we draft, it needs to be a big scoring guard. There's still some there, man. John Tonje, Bryce Williams, Tyrese Proctor as well at 6'5". Yep. Isaac says, this is nerve-wracking. This is exciting, man. I'm hyped. I know a lot of people are trying to downplay the 50th pick, but I mean, we've seen last season, guys, fucking Tony Bradley with Indiana. Tony Bradley was playing Eastern Conference Finals minutes against us. You saw other dudes get minutes. Like it, there's options, there's potential. I think a lot of if the Knicks were coached by somebody else, there was a chance Ariel Hukporti was getting minutes. I think there was a chance when there was the hacker Mitch, and and Carlisle was trying to get Mitch off the floor. I would have substituted and countered that and said, you know what? Here is Hukporti. Deal with him. Because Hukporti could hit the free throws and he could do some of the stuff Mitch was doing. To disrupt. What Indiana was trying to do. So yeah, Micah Peavy out of Georgetown headed to the Pels, right? He's a guy who's a player that Patrick Ewing coached too, and he's a guy who plays both sides, physical, big, and strong. He would have been a solid pick for our New York Knicks, but there are other guys waiting in that green room right now. Jay Singh, salute. Lou says Patino gave up on RJ. Not sure why, though. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential there, but the shot, the jump shot is a big swing skill for him. I'm liking the flow. I'm liking the pace tonight. The pace of the second round is up a bit. Maybe they got the feedback from yesterday. But yeah, some of the picks last night were taking way too long. Hopefully something is cooking right now. Right. Man, there's some talent, but like y'all said, second round undrafted free agents. The Knicks are good for that with their CAA connections. Don't forget, any good talent that gets undrafted with CAA, the Knicks will be on that, man, like a pit bull. The Don is cooking something, Isaac. Jason says Tibbs have so many weapons in the arsenal but never use them. Yeah, they were there, man. They were there in the holster, and he could have thrown a couple of spanner in the works, but unfortunately, he just doesn't value some of the players enough. And Look, I think Tyler Kolek deserves a lot more praise, a lot more shine. He's gonna wow some people. Some people selected him to be a rookie or all rookie guy, but he just didn't get the minutes. Played in the G League showcase, won the MVP. Proctor to Phoenix at 41. Man, what did I tell y'all? I told y'all Phoenix will be looking, man, to replace Tyus Jones. Damn. I told y'all that Phoenix will be looking to replace Tyus Jones. But yeah, Kolek will be a beast. No doubt. Tyler Kolek will be a beast. He's ready. He's ready to rock right now. I mean, per 36, he'll be 10 assists a night. Pure point guard. Okay, so maybe that's not official. Are we still waiting? Tyrese Proctor at 41. What do y'all think? David says Ty Jones can come to us. Hopefully, but might be another little log jam with Tyler Kolek. Earl says Phoenix kind of rebuilding fast. Yeah, they're definitely getting aggressive. Got to keep D-Book happy, but they are going to go all out to re-sign him. Also, what do y'all think if Bradley Beal gets bought out? It's very unlikely Beal will get traded because he's on $50 million. No one's going to take that contract. But if Bradley Beal gets bought out, the Knicks have the $5.7 million exception. They could claim him off of waivers. We might be able to get Kobe Bryant, but there's still quite a few picks to go, fam. Joe says give Kolek 12 to 15 a night. Yeah, I don't think you can play Kolek next to Brunson, but surely he can back him up, Deuce should be playing alongside Brunson, and you get Josh Hart back to the bench. Earl says, nah, Beal's finished. But on a buyout, on a vet minimum, it might be worth a fly. Al Tango says, heck no, no one wants Beal. Just trade for a pick. David says, Nico might take Beal's deal. Yeah, I don't think anyone's taken that deal, but you never know, man. New Orleans. Is New Orleans now the stupidest front office? Let me know. They traded last night. They traded to next season's unprotected pick. Unprotected. Just to move up 10 spots. Right. Okay, so we got Ari. Okay, Ari on X. I see you. He's trying to make these predictions. So it looks like Kobe Bryant might be that pick. And it is, ladies and gentlemen. Kentucky's Kobe Bryant is headed to Phoenix, not Tyrese Proctor. Interesting. Okay. So look, my guy Tyrese, who I would have taken at the top of the round, is still there. What do y'all think right now? What do y'all think about that? Francisco says who would be the best player left and who would be the best roster fit. There's quite a few great fits in different positions, but I think if you're just looking for ball handling, some shooting and scoring off the bounce, Tyrese Proctor is still the best guy on the board right now. Surely ESPN confirm. Let me refresh. I don't know if they update this as the draft is going, but yeah, Tyrese Proctor's at 7. Maxime Renard is still there. That's very surprising for a lot of people. Jameer Watkins is still there. Alex Tui, Markovic, I'm not so high on at the moment. Rocco's more long term. John Tonje is a win now kind of guy. Eric Dixon's a win now. Kobe Brayer's win now. So here we are, guys. We're entering the kind of final straight right now. Let's see. This Kobe Brayer is off the board now, though. Yeah, New Orleans is smoking it. They got Joe Dumas back in control. Let's hope we could call them up and say, what's up with Herb Jones and Trey Murphy? We'll give you Tyler Kolek for Trey Murphy and Herb Jones in a couple of seconds. Yeah, Proctor and Watkins, Sanders, plenty of dudes. I like Bryce Williams. Earl Thomas, great to have you with us. I'm glad I'm missing the ESPN coverage. I'm done with that. I'd rather be here with you guys and chopping it up. Phoenix. Yep, Phoenix getting busy. Nemhard hasn't been taken yet, fam. So that's surprising too. I kind of forgot about that, man. No one's taken Nemhard yet. He's still there at the 18th ranked prospect available. Look, Amari Williams needs to go as well. He's a skilled big. Hunter Salas is okay. I mean, I know a lot about Izan Ilmanza. He played in the NBL last season out of Spain. He could have a really high upside. He just hasn't found that opportunity playing pro last season. It's risky business to play pro because a lot of these teams want to win, and you can't showcase your game like college. College bringing in the NIL, it's been a game changer for prospects that's not ready because they can keep working on their game. How would I feel if we drafted RJ? I feel like we would have passed on maybe a few other better options. I like RJ as himself as a prospect, but I do think we could get him undrafted. So, yeah, I would take a few other guys ahead of him, but I wouldn't be mad at it. I mean, I think he needs some more developing. Okay, finally, Maxime Renault, the Sacramento Kings. You can always depend on them to make some decisions. Sacramento Kings have come in to take Maxime Renault. That is good for us. I'm not interested in Maxime Renault right now. We got enough bigs. Perfect. So more guys slip down. Let's go. Yeah, decent players still available. More than decent in some cases. Jameer Watkins. We have Kobe Brayer. We have Tyrese Proctor as well. I mean, this is it. The Knicks surely got to move up and get one of these guys. Proctor, Jameer Watkins, or Kobe Brayer is gone now. But there's got to be some of these guys that they want to move up for as well. Yep, Albert at No Ceiling says, I wish Kobe Brayer had fell to 50 as a Knicks fan. But look, it is what it is. If we really liked him enough, we could have done it. I'm pretty sure we could have moved up and we could have got Kobe Brayer if we wanted, man. It's only a few spots. Lou likes Javon Small. Yeah, he's definitely one of the best prospects available, but I don't think he's the best fit for us because of the size. But yeah, he is so well-rounded right now in terms of his skill set. Hector says, I wanted Brayer. El Tango says, CT, a lot of talent going to go undrafted. The Knicks are going to be good. Yep. We're close to the second apron, so we're looking for a guy that's going to come in and help us out. Jameer Watkins is next. Right, let's hope. Who's on the board next up, right? There's so much popping. So the Phoenix Suns end up with Karman Malawach, Rashir Fleming, and Kobe Brea. That's a solid pick for Phoenix so far. The latest pick, Maxime Renault, out of Stanford, is headed with the 42 pick to Sacktown. What do we have? The Utah Jazz next up, man. On the clock with 2 minutes remaining. What is Danny Ainge gonna do? Another trade with Washington? Give me Proctor or Watkins. Yeah, things are heating up, guys. Please, please. Please, please, Utah, fumble the bag. I can't believe Tyrese Proctor's still available right now, man. Maybe I don't know what happened, man. Maybe his workouts weren't great. What happened? Well, I guess there's a lot of parity. Like, certain teams are looking at size. Micah Peavy went, Elijah Martin. You got Brea, I understand. Renault should have gone a lot higher as well. I get it. Now's the time where I think Tyrese Proctor's going to go. But Utah do have a lot of guards, man. They do have, what's his name? Keyshawn George. But they are going to sell Sexton. I think they're going to get rid of Jordan Clarkson as well. Right. I don't think it's a case of him sucking at the combine. I mean, he played well for a whole college season. So people do know what they're getting when it comes to a Tyrese Proctor. Bodega Wi-Fi. We've got everyone in the building, man. We've got all the legends, the diehards, Hall of Famers, starting five. Proctor won't fall to 50, yeah. He won't. I got to feel like the Knicks have maybe got their promise already. Maybe they've already got that lock-in agreement with someone. I see you, New York Knicks, Leon Rose. Don't let us down. Don't let us down. Get Watkins or get Tyrese Proctor right now. Those guys would have been great at the top. Washington Wizards select Jameer Watkins with the 43 pick. Man. So this will be the Wizards pick, right? The Washington Wizards take Jameer Watkins. Watkins to Washington, 43. Let's find out. We might have an agreement with them. Maybe the Knicks choose that Australian brawler, Lachlan Olbrich. Sho Khan says, I'm done. Wanted Jameer Watkins. Shez V says, so now it's all about Proctor. Susan's in the building. Great to see you. Just stay cool, guys. Stay cool. There's plenty of guys still there. But Jameer Watkins was a Sam Rose CAA client. But hey, to some people, that's a good sign. We're not just trying to finagle the CAA connections. RJ Luis is still available too. Nick's already got a few in their pocket, says Al Tango. I hope. Yep. Lou Boogie says, wow, they took CT's guy. Julian says, Proctor to me is better than Watkins. I think RJ might go undrafted. I mean, I really wanted Kobe Brea. I'm not going to lie. Like, Kobe Brea would have been perfect for us. A 50% shooter from downtown. That's music to my ears right now. We might not even need to re-sign Landry Shamet. We could have used that roster spot on someone else. we got Kobe Bryant. But hey, if we can get Tyrese Proctor, man, watching him at Summer League, it's going to be lit. As I said, guys, Shez V, 44. This could be it. Oklahoma City Thunder, what you got? We gave you Isaiah Hartenstein. You won a championship. Just give us pick 44 right now. Y'all got 1,000 picks. You don't need this one. We don't need, y'all don't need this one, OKC. Isaac says we are gonna get Proctor. I'm praying, man. I'm praying right now. So 3 names off the board that are CAA repped. Watkins off the board, right? Look, I like Jameer Watkins, but we got Mikal Bridges, we got OG. Let us get some more shooting or some ball handling. You got Amari Williams out of Kentucky as well, the 7-footer. So let's see what plays out with that. I hope we don't get the skinny Poku, fam. But Bogo Markovic could be an undrafted guy, but he might go after 50. Let's see what happens right now, man. How much time left on the clock? Right now, the pick is almost in from OKC. Hopefully Sam Presti's drunk from all that celebrating and all that champagne that they left over. Let's hope Sam Presti forgets to make the call and misses the clock. He's too busy celebrating right now in the Bahamas. What's he doing here at the NBA draft? Yeah, Maxime Renault falling to 42 was crazy. That was crazy. Yeah, we ain't going to get another Frederick Weiss, man. That was 1 in a million. Koulibaly. Washington. Washington's going to win some games, man. I'm telling y'all. Y'all heard it here first. Washington's going to win some games. They might finish with the 6th worst record and fall out in the lottery. And we get the 8th pick. Or we get the 9th pick. Looks like we got some Summer League announcements, man. Bronny James going to be kicking off against Cooper Flagg in the NBA's marquee matchup. Knicks are slow, yep. We're working it, man. We're working the phones like a call center. Look, missed out on Jameer Watkins. I'll be ecstatic if Tyrese Proctor's a New York Knick. Let's go. A lot of fans rooting for RJ as well. I see you. Represent St. John's. Like I said, Sam Presti's drunk right now, man. The pick is in. Look, we might trade out if we can get a few undrafted guys. Either way, we are going to end up with some players. Whether we pick them or whether they're undrafted, it's not going to be any matter unless we get the guy we want. Does OKC take Tyrese Proctor? Please no. No, they've got Brooks. Brooks Barnheiser. No surprise there, man. A stash, I think. I think that guy's a stash, fam. What do y'all think? Brooks Barnheiser. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Apologies. However, I'm worried about the Chicago Bulls coming up. Because if they want to lose maybe Kobe White, that you know, they pay Josh Giddey they might want to get Tyrese Proctor with that one. That would be an excellent pick. It makes so much sense that the Bulls just shouldn't do it. The Bulls won't end up doing it. Yeah. Brooks Barnheitzer with the 44th pick, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, he's a stash. Let's see, moving on up. For Proctor, man, let's do it. I don't want Chicago to get in on that, man. They got Kobe White. They got Dalen Terry. They got Ayo Dosunmu. And they've got Josh Giddey right now. Yeah, I mean, OKC could have drafted you or me, fam, and it wouldn't matter. They've got so many picks, and they've got their whole roster set for the next 5 years. Right now, they could have drafted Mike Breen. Right, let's look at the clock. Guys, we're getting close. The Knicks have not moved up. There's only 5 picks from the Knicks. Maybe they just won't move up. There's enough dudes right now. Minnesota picking. Apologies. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Minnesota will be taking this pick. Right. And I do think the Wolves need a point guard, man. This reeks of Tyrese Proctor as well, because Mike Conley's getting old. Rob Dillingham could play some double point guard lineups. Let's see. Yeah, Isaac says, I'm afraid of the Cavs. They could spite, just to spite. They've got Rob Dillingham, yeah. You got Garland, though, who's on the block. They might end up trading Darius Garland, man. He's earning a massive salary. Mohamed Diawara, I think he'll go undrafted. I think we could steal him as an undrafted guy. He's one of the guys that I would grab. Also, I would grab RJ. I mean, you got to keep RJ in New York if he goes undrafted. TSJ, yeah, he got some valuable minutes in the playoffs, and that's something that Thibodeau should have done as well. The pick is in, man. The Chicago Bulls. Hit us with it, guys. You might get the update before me. What are you got Javon Small, Eric Dixon. Eric Dixon's definitely that guy. Rocco Zakarski to Charlotte, to Chicago via Minnesota. Yes, Minnesota select Australian big Rocco Zakarski. Congrats, and great pick. Great pick, Minnesota. Thank you very much, Minnesota. Looking for a Rudy Gobert backup in Rocco Zakarski, the 7'4" big man out of Australia, and a guy who needs a couple of years, but yeah, he could definitely be an elite rim protector in the NBA. Our plan is still alive, as Joe says. Rocco goes. Very, very, very high upside pick from Minnesota. Very high upside. Rocco was slated to be a lottery pick before this draft cycle commenced. He's only 18 years old, and he's 7'4", right? Think of basically an Australian version of Zach Edey. So let's keep it buzzing, fam. What do y'all think? You got Jamira Watkins gone, Kobe Brayer's gone, Tyrese Proctor's still on the board. The Knicks are just going to stay where they're at, fam. Don't be surprised if it's one of those guys I told y'all. Alex Tui. It might be Lachlan Olbrick, or it could be Tyrese Proctor, who's still out there. Almighty says, I don't see Orlando taking Proctor. Anything's possible. A guy could just trade up out of nowhere, man. Like Golden State might be like, hey, Tyrese Proctor's still there. We're gonna come in and hijack. That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, I could see that, Lou. If you pick up Javon Small, I'm okay with swapping it out for Kolek. I'm okay with that. Amari Williams to Boston with 46. I like that a lot. I like that a lot because obviously you've got, let's go. Boston select Amari Williams with the 46th pick. High upside. Out of Kentucky, right? That leaves some guards still available for us, ladies and gentlemen. We here. We right here. Celtics are taking a backup plan in case they lose Al Horford and Luke Cornett. That's a very, very smart pick for Boston Celtics, man. Brad Stevens doesn't miss. Brad Stevens does not miss. That's exactly what Boston need. Al Horford's about to retire. Amari Williams, yep. Also, good to see the Aussie center Rocco go to Minnesota. They got Joe Ingles there. He will be able to help him acclimate. So they're keeping the Australian guys together with that one. As for the Boston Celtics, they get a great big man prospect in Amari Williams now. So we're just a couple of picks away, fam. We've got 3 picks until the New York Knicks go. Susan says, I have faith in Leon Pokerface Rose. Up in here, let's hope he surprises us. Yeah, I'll take Al Horford on a minimum. Definitely. He might have 1 or 2 years left. I think he could get the best out of Karl Anthony Towns. Be that unk for him. And let him know what he needs to improve with. So let's see who's best available still, man. Eric Dixon. So we're guaranteed, just by mathematics, guys, we're guaranteed to get either Eric Dixon, Javon Small, Tyrese Proctor, Alex Tui, John Tonje, Kobe Sanders, Dink Pate, Hunter Salas, RJ Luis. Ryan Nemhard is still out there, guys. Bryce Williams, Caleb Love. Man. The pick is coming in from the Milwaukee Bucks. 3 picks away. There's still some talent I like. AP, he's missing in action tonight, man. Buzzer, call up your guy. Where's AP at right now? Knicks aggregators assembling right now. Catching the buzz. Getting ready. As the Knicks are soon to make their pick. Some people frustrated the Knicks haven't moved up yet, but there's still some guys. I mean, just a lot of fans don't know of these guys. Trust me, there are some good guys still out there. I know once the Knicks pick a guy, everyone's going to think he's the best thing since sliced bread. But there are some guys. Looks like we're staying pat, man. 50. There's some guys out there. And we will get an undrafted guy as well. Fill up our summer league. Fill up our two-ways. The pick is in. Milwaukee coming in from Detroit via Washington. J Mars, appreciate it. Let's go. Julian Blum says, thanks for the content. I don't have to run to ESPN. You don't have to run to there, man. You're right here. You're right here, buzzing. Let's go. Appreciate that. Let's go. Dimitri says 50 for 50 Cent. 50 is a good, nice, even number. There's no point moving up now. Like, I think that boat has sailed because, you know, all of those names, we will get someone we like. There will be someone I like at 50. Hope it's not Michael Sweetney. Fact. Eric Dixon's nice. I like. Shokan says Proctor might go here. Yeah, I hope not, man. I'm clutching right now. I'm clutching, hoping that Tyrese Proctor can slip. Let's see what the Cleveland Cavaliers front office has got, man. Also, who else is picking after them? Memphis, and then Cleveland. Yep. Okay, Milwaukee will select Bogo Markovic. Nice. Bogo Markovic is headed to Brew City in Milwaukee with the 48th pick. Right, another European guy to play with Giannis until he gets traded, hopefully. Bren, salute. Wanted us to pick up Rocco. What do you think about Alex Tui? Rocco goes to Minnesota. The Bucks drafted that forward, Bogo. Let's go. Let's go. We've still got some guards out here, man. We're 2 picks away. Leon Rose might need to move up, man. I'm worried about Cleveland. We've got Alex Tui, the best available guy. John Tonje. Tyrese Proctor still on the board. Eric Dixon. Javon Small. Maybe the Knicks won't be able to pass up on Javon Small out of West Virginia. Eric Dixon as well. Maybe we buy a second pick. Imagine that. Leon Rose Masterclass. Is he going to pick up Tyrese Proctor and buy another pick? Yeah, let's not forget about Nemhard. Although I do have questions over the size, but the skill set is there. So coming in, the Memphis Grizzlies on the clock from Golden State via Washington. Man, this is crazy, some of these trades, right? So the Memphis Grizzlies will select Javon Small with the 48th pick. Ladies and gentlemen, Javon Small headed to the Grizz. Whew. We're officially 1 pick away now, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Nemhard's too small. Shokan says, yeah, Javon Small would have been fine. But hey, at least it's Tyrese Proctor still out here, right? So we're 1 pick away from getting our choice of whoever we want still out here. Let's see how it works right now. Solid pickup for Memphis, Javon Small. You know, they might be gearing up for a Ja Morant deal. What do y'all think? Leon Pokerface Rose, trust him. Mets Nick says CT wants Proctor, LOL. Bren says let's get another Aussie out here. We're still in it, y'all. Cleveland, what you got? 1 more pick. The Knicks pick is gonna leak out any minute because once we know who Cleveland's got, then we're in action right now. We're in action Jackson. Yep. Bogolov, he'll probably get stashed. We'll see, man. I don't know if Giannis is going to be too happy about that. Reporting Sham Charania, Giannis Antetokounmpo is closely observing the Bucks draft and free agency to see what moves they can make to elevate the team. Per Shams. Tony Jones covering the Utah Jazz says if Eric Dixon is still on the board at 53, I would strongly get him. So we might be putting a stop to that if we can get Eric Dixon. What's going to happen, man? The pick is going to be in any second from the Cleveland Cavaliers, coming in with pick 49. A lot of quality prospects still available. A young DeLon Wright. Let's go. Proctor to Cleveland, damn it. Proctor to Cleveland, damn it. So, let's see. I'm waiting for my update, fam. Eric Dixon's too old, says some people. Stanley's got onto it. It looks like Tyrese Proctor to Cleveland to spoil us, man. Well, they're smart, man. They know talent. The Cleveland Cavaliers will select Tyrese Proctor at 49. Man, unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Oh, well, now, Leon Rose, you're on the clock. Right now, you're on the clock. I'm trying to keep my cool. Let's see. The New York Knicks will be on the board coming up right now. And who's still available? Alex Tuhey, John Tonje, Eric Dixon, Vlad Golden, Lachlan Olbrick, Kobe Sanders, RJ Luis, Ryan Nemhard. Let's see how it all plays out, guys. Who do you want us to take now with Tyrese Proctor off the board? Let us know. Nemhard, says Isaac. Jay Giant says Cavs did this multiple years. I hate them. A Ransom says thank you again. Knicks, why is this always happening, man? Trade the pick at this point. Stick around, guys. Once we make a pick, I'll let y'all know. I'll give you the breakdown. There are some guys. Yeah, there's plenty of dudes on our board, on our radar. Let's see who we get. Will Richard, says D. Linda. Yeah. Dixon Randall 2.0. There are some good comparisons out here. Yeah, look, the Knicks could have got Tyrese Proctor. They could have moved up one if they wanted, but I think we need a bit more toughness, you know. Not that I'm talking myself out of it. I would have taken Tyrese Proctor in a heartbeat, but he's not physical. He's not a strong perimeter defender. He's high upside with the shooting, but look, I do think we need some physical toughness. We'll see how that plays out, fam. But congrats to Tyrese Proctor. He was always going to get drafted, of course. So James Edwards of The Athletic says, I had a feeling Proctor would have been a Knick if he made it to 50. Thanks for nothing, man. Thanks for nothing. Dink Pate, he's a guy. Yeah, look, Dink Pate should be an undrafted guy. I think we could develop him as an undrafted dude, but we'll see what comes next. Fam, as our pick is about to be in. Yeah, Rokas is going to stay overseas right now. I think we need some more two-way guys. I mean, but great pickup for Cleveland, man, at 49. To get Tyrese Proctor at 49 is just despicable, man. If he's hitting shots against us in the playoffs, man, I'll be furious. The New York Knicks on the clock. 1 minute coming in, ladies and gentlemen. We here. Who are we going to select? The pick's got to be in. The pick's got to be leaking in. Who will the New York Knicks select or not select right now? Is it going to be the Nova dude? Is it going to be Eric Dixon, man? Is Leon Rose going to trade out? Is it going to be Ryan Nembhard? The Knicks making some calls. What if they traded back to get 2 picks? That would be the most New York Knicks Brock Aller pickup. Is it Ryan Nembhard? Okay, the pick is in. I'm refreshing. Haha, what did I tell y'all? The New York Knicks are trading the number 50 pick to the Clippers, where LA moves up from 51 to take Kobe Sanders. Okay, so that means what? The Knicks have only moved down 1 spot. Okay. What does that mean? The Knicks have moved down only 1 spot. Are we going to move down more spots? But we wanted Tyrese Proctor, obviously, right? And so number 50, we didn't care for Kobe Sanders, so we gave it to the Clippers, fam. Maybe we're just going to wait for some undrafted dudes at this point, but I doubt it. I doubt it because we need to fill the roster, fam. I do think we will draft someone because you can roster them with the 2nd round pick exception. So we selected Kobe Sanders to send him to LA. Waiting to see what the next move is, guys. We're hanging on a knife's edge. Yeah, I get it. You know, I'm ticked off of the Proctor situation. 1 pick away. 1 pick away from getting that guy, but I think there are better fits out here. We'll see if we can get Eric Dixon. Let's see what plays out next up. Like I said, we might trade back down and pick up a couple of picks. There's a couple of guys that the Knicks still like. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if James L. Edwards was just, you know, talking basic sense that the Knicks would have selected Proctor, but okay, Steve Popper is saying the Knicks will now pick at 51 per league source. So the Knicks do what they do. They move up, they move down a little bit, but Steve Popper of Newsday says the Knicks will now pick at 51 per league source. So let's see what plays out, man. What are the Clippers do? What did the Clippers do for us? You know, are they going to give us Ty Lue? Are the Knicks going to give us Ty Lue just for letting them move up 1 spot? But here we are, guys. The Knicks are going to select right now. The LA Clippers will make a selection for the New York Knicks. So the pick is coming in. Who's it going to be? Unfortunately, they won't be wearing a New York Knicks cap. I hate that. I hate that element. where the player that you get is not going to be wearing the actual cap. You know, they're going to be wearing a Clippers cap right now. I'm assuming, unless they flip it around. Knicks on the clock, waiting to see what we get back. Yeah, making a trade, one pick down. Doing some people some favors. What Sham's got for us. Waiting on our pick, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, we here. Y'all want Nemhard? What do you think? Do we get RJ Lewis? I mean, the pick got to be in now, man. What's the hold up? Okay, still got a little bit of time. There's been so few leaks this time around, man. Usually everyone knows who the Knicks are going to select by now. There's just been so many leaks. So little leaks. Some people still slow to react. Kobe Sanders is going to LA. Let's see what happens. Doesn't look like we're going to trade again. Knicks want the cash considerations. Okay, that's something that we could have got. One spot, we might have just got some cash considerations. Y'all know. Okay, so the pick is coming in. The pick is in. Who do we got, guys? Who do we got? Diawara. Diawara to New York. Is that the pick? Yes. The New York Knicks are selecting Mohamed Diawara with the 51st pick. Solid. I like it. Mo Diawara, right? We worked him out. That was a confirmed workout. He could have cooked in that workout. A 6'9" wing out of France. And Mohamed Diawara is a very toolsy wing. Plays both sides. Can defend, though, at a high level. He's a 6'9" forward. Combo forward. Will break down the game as well. So Mohamed Diawara, we worked him out. We got some good intel. So let me bring up his highlights for y'all right now, because we had his highlights ready to go, and I'm gonna pull this up. We can all break it down together, guys. Look, I think it's a roster fit. We're picking up a guy that fits the roster and what we needed at 51. Unbelievable physical tools, and the way he can guard has potential. Mohamed Diawara, the latest New York Knicks. Salute. Welcome to the squad. And we'll take a look at his game right now. Yep. Bringing it up for ya right now. This is the latest New York Knick. Right. Cop a look at his size, his length, and versatility. 7'4" wingspan, 20 years old, with a 9'2" standing reach, with serious defensive versatility, and also has connections to Pacome Dardier, close connections with Pacome. Played overseas in Germany, the same league, the same German league that Dardier came from. So the scouts were getting busy with Mo Diawara. Offensive game is obviously needing more developing and refining, but he could be a plug-and-play guy on the defensive end that comes in. Could be more of a draft and stash, but I doubt it, because in terms of the roster spots, it could be a player that they need to fill the roster out with more talent at a cheaper rate. Well, so Mohamed Diawara, the latest New York Knick. Some people are speculating draft and stash. We'll see how it plays out. Whether the New York Knicks maybe buy another pick, but what a drop off! What a drop off from Tyrese Proctor it is. Yeah, two-way guy, Joe. That could definitely be a big shout. John Talento salutes says we should have drafted Eric Dixon. I think Eric Dixon's obviously way more ready-made. That's a great point, but I do think Diawara could pan out, with his versatility defensively. And look, I trust if they've made their decision based off a workout, that they've seen this guy in person and they've seen his tantalizing defensive potential at 7'4". One thing I was crying out for that we had to address was positional size. Whether this guy pans out or not is anybody's guess, but he's 6'9", and that is genuine positional size. Cardiac says a poor man's precious. He's less of a power forward, in my opinion. I think he's a bit more of like your jumbo-sized RDA with 20 years of age. Look, Eric Dixon's a guy, man. Andrew Nemhard. Ryan Nemhard, sorry. Marta Scott says he's a better version of a Chua. Yeah. Nemhard's going to get drafted, definitely. Look, if this guy's on a two-way, I won't be surprised. Alex Tui is gone. So let's take a look at the next pick. Yep. As I said, perfect match. Golden State Warriors will select Alex Tui with the 52nd pick in the NBA draft. So the Knicks knew a lot about Tui. He was right there. They passed. And he ends up going to the Golden State Warriors. So in favor of Mohamed Diawara. Right. Okay, we got some new intel coming through from y'all. Stephen Bondi, the New York Post, says hearing Mohamed Diawara will be at Summer League. His contract is still to be determined. He's a defensive-minded and athletic player. Defensive-minded and athletic. And contract to be determined. And will be at Summer League, ladies and gentlemen. So we can add him to this list. We can add him to the archives, to the starting squad of Summer League. Tyler Kolek, Kevin McCullough, Pacome Dardier, Mohamed Diawara, and Ariel Hukporti, James Nagy. Right, the Summer League squad. Who's going to be rocking with that? Dermot, the return from moving back, I'm going to assume is cash. I don't think we picked up another pick. And with the 53 pick, John Tonje is headed out in that pick to the Utah Jazz. Also, don't stress, guys. There is going to be potentially undrafted pickups. Who do we want to see go undrafted now? Let's keep an eye out on that. I'm going to bring up this one, best available. Right. Hey, Lachlan Olbrich would be a great undrafted pickup. I'm not going to lie, right? Eric Dixon still hasn't gotten selected. Vlad Golden, Olbrich, Dink Pate, Hunter Salas, Bryce Williams, Ryan Nemhard, RJ Luis, Ilzan Ilmansa, Caleb Love, Will Richard as well. Let's have it, guys. Who do you want to see go undrafted now? Sean, I think RJ would be a solid pickup. Yeah, Lou, I like the squad. I think we could make noise at Summer League with some of our guys with pro experience. 6 more picks, Earl. Domingo NJ says we're too slow and the pick doesn't help us. Hopefully we can get someone undrafted, but I mean, maybe they want to prioritize more of our summer league guys. You know, Pacome Dardier does need minutes. Kolek, Kevin McCullough is probably ahead of Diawara anyways, but I mean, you can't ignore the size that Diawara is bringing at 6'9". What is it? 7'4" wingspan, man. That's crazy right now. Don't forget, guys, the draft comes before free agency, so we don't know what the plans are for free agency. You know, they might pop us with an OG trade. They might hit us with some other trades, and things make more sense. But as for now, Diawara looks like a guy that, you know, if he develops, could be a defensive menace with us, you know, longer term. Yeah, I do hope Olbrick goes undrafted as well. We need a defense, so Joe says that's good. Krillian says, yeah, they took Proctor and you take Tui. What the F? Wild Wild West let me down. World Wide West let me down. We need to speed up our offense. Yeah, we do. I'm worried about who we're playing next to Brunson because we need to get faster. We need to get more versatile and more playmaking. You know, Javon Small would have been a good pickup, but size concerns. Bryce Williams, I like. Well, he's off the board now. John Tonje is now gone. So, I don't know. Do we go for a Hunter Salas? Dink Pate? I do think RJ will help us in transition. That could be our wing that we can bring in undrafted. Eric Dixon. Joe likes the pick. Let me know, guys. Rate the pick. What are you thinking right now? Who do you think we should pick up as an undrafted guy? But yeah, I'm upset that Tui's going to Golden State. That's a perfect pickup. Talon Peter is going to go to the Pacers with pick 54. He was out of Liberty last season. So that's a pick from left field. Talon Peter, sorry. Interesting, guys. So we're on the undrafted free agent watch now for all our sickos out here. Can he shoot? In terms of Mo Diawara, he can pop the open three, but he's working on his game with the outside shot. But he's more of a defensive specialist for now. You know, for now, if I had to peg, you know, our guy, the guy that we got, let me bring up his highlights again. I mean, he's an off-ball, you know, kind of a defensive specialist that we're looking at right here. We've got the video frozen up on us. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, he can shoot the three a little bit there. He looks great in transition. I mean, his incredible size and length is what is interesting. But look, I have to say, the Knicks don't make picks just out of the blue. They do their intel. They do all their homework. This guy's from the same league that we scouted Pacome Dardier. So we would have had a strong feel for what he could do. We also know he's connected with Pacome Dardier as well, similar agents. We worked him out as well. So we obviously saw the workout and we liked him. But I don't think he was our first choice, you know. We're obviously looking at guys that we could have got if we had moved up, but we weren't able to package cash because you can, you know, you get hard capped into the second apron. If we were able to to move up by just giving up a future second round pick. I think we would have done that. But look, Cleveland's not stupid. They weren't going to pass up on Tyrese Proctor as well. So it is the unfortunate nature of picking at 50, man. That it wasn't even our pick. It was given to us by Memphis in a future deal. We forfeited our own pick in the Jalen Brunson tampering situation. Marta Scott, I'm surprised that Indiana didn't pick up Nemhard, man. They went with Talon Peters out of Liberty. Hector says Knicks screwed up. Let's wait and find out. Yeah, I understand if you ain't high on the pick, really. I mean, I don't know a lot about this guy. Only recently did I really start to pay attention. And it's kind of funny that this was the guy that only one of a few guys that was announced as a workout from the New York Knicks. So, look, if we like the workout and it went well, I can understand why we selected this guy. He's 20, still does appear to be still raw, but we're going to get a good look at him in Summer League, man. This guy could be a lockdown menace defensively. And after Summer League, everyone's like, buzzing after that. Cardiac says, don't give the praise to the front office. They're way overrated. Look, that's your opinion, man, and definitely there's been some misses. For me, the jury's out on the McCall deal, and obviously it doesn't look great right now, but you can't ignore the facts that we are 6 wins away from an NBA championship. So a lot of the things that they have done have paid off as well, right? You don't get within 6 wins of an NBA chip just by accident, So I can understand that there are things that people aren't going to be happy about, and I'm not happy about certain things as well. I think we were a little soft last season, and look, if McCall doesn't come this season and show a lot more grit, and hopefully we can get more out of the guys with a new coach. I do believe in my heart that this squad was held back by Tom Thibodeau. How much was it held back? We're going to find out. But I do feel that we were held back with certain things. We'll find out what happens with that one. This is a good comp, man. El Tango says he reminds me of Siakam. 20, man, he might have more development left. He might be a guy that really pops after Summer League. Earl says, I'm not mad at the pick. Plus, it looks like a lot of quality players will go undrafted. Yeah, I'm more disappointed we weren't able to get like a Jameer Watkins, Kobe Bryant, or Tyrese Proctor right there, man, within our grasp. It's just it's crazy how close he slipped to the Knicks. But we've still got the draft popping, man. We're going to go all the way through to the end, and we'll see what the rumblings are about with the undrafted guys. In typical fashion, there's heavy reactions to this pick. Mohamed Diawara, crazy raw, but great defensive tools with the 7'4" wingspan. So, hey, we achieved one thing, which is to tick that box, which was to acquire someone who has size at their position. No more undersized wings. Like, think of the defensive upgrade over a Landry Shamet, Mohamed Diawara, 6'8", and Landry Shamet, 6'4", and you bring in this Mohamed Diawara, who's 6'9", with a 7'4" wingspan. Right here, this guy could be what people hoped Cam Reddish turned out to be in regards to that deal. And look, defense first. We've got enough guys that can shoot the rock right now. Darren, appreciate this update. The Chicago Bulls will select Lachlan Olbrich with the 55th pick in the draft after the pick was traded from LA to Chicago. He's going to thrive. Yeah, he's going to thrive. I think Vucevic is going to get traded. That's a good landing spot for Lachlan Olbrich. And no doubt the front office is looking at pairing him with a Josh Giddey from the same country for some chemistry, I think. So Knicks end up with Mohamed Diawara. We can confirm he'll be at Summer League, and the contract that he's going to be on is still to be determined. So we're keeping things wide open, fam. But I don't think we're going to trade Pacome Dardier right now. To draft his friend and his countryman, I think would be with the idea of keeping those two together, and maybe he'll help him acclimate in the Big Apple. Now, Eric Dixon, I'm disappointed we weren't able to pick him up. Guys, that would have been my pick. I would have just taken Eric Dixon at this point. But who knows, man? Maybe he's told everyone to say, don't draft me right now. Hook me up with the Villanova squad as an undrafted guy. Right? Would you guys be upset if we got Diawara, but we ended up with Eric Dixon as an undrafted guy? Eric Dixon and maybe RJ Louise. I mean, Dink Pate is still there. He was highly touted, man, after playing with the G League. Ryan Nemhard. Bryce Williams, my guy's still there. I like Bryce Williams. Disappointing if he goes undrafted, man. Max Scholger is still available too. Right, so where are we at now? We got 4 more picks, right? As Lachlan Olbrich ends up at Chicago. Margaret says, I want to see Pacome Dardier in the Summer League. Yeah, me too. I want to see him play 30 minutes. I want to see him take a lot of shots. No more Dwayne Washingtons, if y'all remember that, in the Summer League. Give these Summer League guys all their shine and have them, put a case heading into training camp and Summer League and preseason so that they can play more minutes, right? We have to figure it out. Lou Boogie says a swing for Ding Pate. Same comparisons to Diawara. Yep. As the picks come in from Memphis, we got Will Richard headed to the Golden State Warriors, fam. So Golden State picking up a nice pickup. Will Richard coming out of Florida, national champion. So that's interesting right now. Golden State end up with Alex Tui. I still can't get my head around that, man. They're a smart front office with those guys. Yeah, no more D-Scap, says Dimitri. Knicks Summer League is serious now. Super senior and serious out here. Think how good the Summer League that Tyler Kolek had. Like, his rookie Summer League was solid. He had some game winners, crafty finishes, and buckets to get the Knicks a couple of wins. Think about come around this time. I think Tyler Kolek's going to be like a double-double. I think he should be a double-double guy. In terms of, no coach at the moment. Yeah, we were drafting on autopilot, Let's just get a 6'9" defensive wing right now. But look, he's ecstatic. Mohamed Diawara, he's on Twitter right now. Give him a follow. He's tweeted out, New York. Mohamed Diawara's tweeted out. He's hyped to be here right now. Close connections with his agency, his countryman, Pacome Dardier. And obviously after the workout, he would have had a good feeling about his chances, but defensive tools. You know, I like us to get more size. Is Tui going to end up in Phoenix? Maybe I missed that up. Phoenix, but traded to Golden State. So yeah, I think he's going to Golden State. It was a Phoenix pick, but headed to Golden State. Prezi the boss salute says we are hard capped. What did you expect? We're going to trade up into the first round, develop our Thundercats, and use the usual lot of undrafted players to the summer league. I think there was a couple of guys that we really could have moved up, and maybe we tried to, but yeah, you know, we'll see how it plays out. You know, this story hasn't ended. The chapter is closed now as we select Mohamed Diawara with the 51st pick, sliding down one spot and picking up some cash. But he's hyped, he's pumped to be a New York Knick. Let's give him a shot. Yeah, Lou, we would have selected, I think, at 56 had we kept our original pick, but that has obviously gone in the tampering case with the NBA. I mean, I'm not worried about it too much because we'll obviously be able to get an undrafted guy now, but yeah, the draft is only 59 picks because of that situation. NYC, what's good? The pick reminds me of your Rokas pick. It's still to be determined in terms of what the plan is for Diawara, but he's going to come to Summer League. He might end up on a two-way. He might end up being okay with being stashed. Maybe the Knicks want to fill more roster spots with vets. We'll see how that plays out. Yeah, we got a guy at 51, and there's going to be a lot of people doing their research now on this guy. Can't say I knew a lot about him until a few weeks ago, but you know, maybe we end up with a steal. Let's hope. You know, certainly, you know, he's a guy that, you know, on profile looks to fit the roster in terms of a guy that can guard threes, fours. He's got the length too. Is he a Pascal Siakam, a late developer? Is he a guy that's going to get and raise his game at a rapid level? He's 20. He's not too old. He's been playing pro. I do put a lot of stock in pro. You know, someone playing pro. I think it does help, you know, get them prepared for some degree. But yeah, maybe I'm overhyping a bit too much. Maybe we'll find out, and whether or not he could help us out. But yeah, keep it Thora Comics. I like that. RJ Lewis from St. John's hopefully could come on the undrafted deal. Could be a Luol Deng. Paula, good night. Great to have you with us tonight. Everyone in the building so far. We're rocking out still. Late night edition as the NBA second round draft pick is close to coming to a conclusion, and then we're going to find out who's going to be the 51st, the 61st pick, which is basically also known as undrafted. Right. So Max Scholger has gone with the pick 57 right now, and that's traded to the Boston Celtics. So Boston get another guard, Max Scholger. So yeah, I'm just responding to some people on X as my undrafted guy. Had him as undrafted. So I did have Mo Diawara as a guy that we should have picked up undrafted. So I did see some value in picking him up. I didn't have him as a guy that we were going to select. But I did have him as a guy that was going to go undrafted. We should have picked up if he went undrafted. So the potential is there, and look, that's all there. That's all there ever is with these drafts. These draft guys late in the draft. It's a crapshoot, but you trust your scouts, your development. Yeah, with the new coach, look, after the draft, that's it. Earl Thomas, as Windhorse says, it looks like Knicks will hire James Borrego as head coach after firing Tibbs. I haven't seen that yet, fam. If that is true, that is a surprise. That's a surprise to me. So Summer League will kick off July 10 to July 20, and we're going to have a stacked Summer League squad. James Borrego is a CAA client. We hadn't yet heard any feedback on how that interview went. So maybe Brian Windhorst has started to hear more things that's come out of those interviews. But it did seem like Taylor Jenkins, was leading alongside Mike Brown. As Lou said, he said interview, not hire Borrego next. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't think James Borrego would be leading over some of the other guys, but maybe they've turned their page over on J Kidd, which I'm okay about. We need to start moving on and really locking in someone with free agency coming up. Junior Star says, how do we expect to get bench depth using a pick on somebody that never going to make the team? We don't know that yet. We've got to find that out. Diawara could make the team still. But yeah, theoretically, when you're picking late in the second round, it's always down to the scouting and seeing where the guy could fit in. We need more dogs. We need more lengths, size defensively. He ticks that box. Maybe they think Pacome Dardier is a little too soft defensively. And you got Tyler Kolek, you got Brunson with some size concerns. Having a switchable, menace like Diawara, that could pay off. That could pay off in the future. Looking at that Indiana series, man, they had so many guys that we had to guard. Chris says, who is this Luca guy we just got rights to? I'm not sure what you mean in terms of the Luca guy with the rights to. Let me refresh. Maybe that was in the trade to move up and down. So at 20 years of age and a half, 6'9" wing, Mohamed Diawara, playing overseas, is a true jumbo size wing with a 7'4" wingspan, a little hustle, and a decent looking jumper. The kind of high risk, high reward pick that you look for in the second round. This is coming out of the Strickland, this breakdown. So shout out to them. And obviously there's still some things to iron out with his game. So the Cleveland Cavaliers selected Salu Niang with the 58th pick. So we have one more left, ladies and gentlemen, and then it's undrafted guys. Cardiac say I can easily create a Leon's top 10 worst transactions. Yeah, there's definitely been a few. You could say that about most front offices. But at the end of the day, man, I'm rooting for the cause, trying to get things forward. Just improve on last year, man. 6 wins within the championship. How do you get better? get closer to the championship or win. Next season's wide open right now. And we've obviously got a lot of veterans on the squad now. So these rookies might not factor in as much, but it will be helpful. Prezi says Mo Diawara will be our Luol Deng Siakam type. James Borrego, Almighty, said Windhorse said it. Look, everyone has their own opinions, guys, you know. Just treat everybody with respect, and people are entitled to their opinions. But at the end of the day, we all root for the same team. We all want to see this team win. You know, it's just going to happen in different ways. The things that we can control, we can control. Outside of that, don't let it work you up so much, because yeah, at the end of the day, you know, they're not going to be able to. They're not going to do everything that you want them to do, and you know, people will get fired if things don't end up the way it needs to, like Thibodeau. You know, there'll be somebody new come in. You know, this is all an era, a regime, and things can change quickly. So a slew of two-way camp and summer league deals expected to come through in a minute after the final pick. Right. Now, I got to say, this second round definitely did go a little slow, but they do have the whole night to fill it out. I would take Taylor Jenkins or Mike Brown ahead of these other guys. Borrego, I'm not the biggest fan. We'll see how it plays out. Drew Review says Luka Mitrovic was the guy with the draft rights. Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, look, he's just going to be a draft and stash guy. Don't expect him to come over. It's literally just the rights to the player so that you can trade that, you know, at some point. Now, what's Sham saying right now with his latest updates? Arizona's Caleb Love already lined up with one of the most prolific scorers in college ball, expected to sign a two-way contract with the Blazers. So Caleb Love getting the two-way contract with the Blazers too. And so that's one of the first main reports as an undrafted guy getting a two-way straight away. With the final pick, the Houston Rockets select Jemai Mashak out of Tennessee, the guard out of Tennessee. Jemai Mashak. A lot of people hyped about that one. So the draft is officially over now. Let's see what happens with these undrafted signings. John Talento says, now let's go pick up Eric Dixon. I can't believe he went undrafted. That's crazy. Let's take a look at the best available now. I can't believe Vlad Golden didn't get drafted as well. But actually, it makes more sense because you see these projects get taken late. Those guys would have said, don't draft me, you know. They would have been draft eligible from these late teams, but they would have probably told their teams to say, hey, let me go undrafted. This is interesting, guys. Ryan Nemhard, not drafted. RJ Lewis, not drafted. Hannah Salas, not drafted. Dink Pate. Vlad Golden and Eric Dixon. Bryce Williams. Curtis Jones would be a solid two-way guy. What do y'all think? Who do y'all like? Big Mike salute says I was hoping for Kobe Bryant. So Prezi the boss says you can forget about some of these guys because their teams are refusing to allow the Knicks to interview them, Windhorse said. He also says, looks like James Borrego, who nearly got the Cavs job last year, will be the next coach of the Knicks. Interesting. Jimmy UCLA says Borrego, new Knicks coach, out of the pop tree. Windhorst stated Borrego is the Knicks coach. Eric Dixon, two-way to the Lakers. RJ, let's get him. Shokan. Let me verify this Borrego situation right now. Because look, he's got experience, he's got the name, relationship. So Windhorst says, yeah, looks like Knicks will hire James Borrego as head coach after firing Tibbs, who nearly got the Cavs job last year, per Bleacher Report coming out. He's interviewed with the Knicks already, so that's something to pay attention to. James Borrego. Let us know, where did Brian Windhorst speak on that? Was it on the official ESPN broadcast? So yeah, Prezi, appreciate the update. The Clippers traded yet the 51 pick to the Knicks for the draft rights to Luka Mitrovic in order to jump up and select. Okay, yeah. So all the Knicks basically got was the rights to a player that they can use in a future deal as well. So the Knicks like the rights to a player because it means you can actually acquire a player in the future without having to send out any of your own players. You could just send out Luka Mitrovic. You know, let's say for example you want to do a trade for some picks or something, and a team is sending you a player, and you only need to send them Luka. I'd love us to get Bryce Williams too, man. John. Sean says RJ. Yeah, Blazers wasted no time. Yuri Ark, why is Borrego high on people? Yeah, it's surprising to me in terms of just the buzz that Taylor Jenkins had, and then all of a sudden, you know, to think that Borrego's just, you know, elevated ahead of them, it's kind of a little surprising right now. So until it's verified, I haven't seen any other major reports yet. But yeah, Eric Dixon verified that he is going to go to the LA Lakers on a two-way deal. Interesting. Interesting, fam. Also got some more news on Mohamed Diawara, which is that Mohamed Diawara attended the Knicks New Year's Day blowout win over the Utah Jazz, as you can see on his Instagram, MO_DWRA. So his Instagram is MO_DWRA. And on the January 25th, there's a picture of Mo Diawara at MSG. Looks like he's probably in the 20th row, sitting there watching the New York Knicks beat down the Utah Jazz. So that's been on the radar, it does look like. Especially him being one of the workouts that we fixed up. And looks like Eric Dixon is now gone. Dink Pate, I would get Bryce Williams in. Yeah, I don't see anything about the Borrego situation yet, but he's a CAA client. I know that. Lou says Borrego's excellent X's and O's, who did a fantastic job with Charlotte, but it's not done. Still interviewing yet. It's definitely still not done. I think Windhorst is speculating if he does say that. He said it looks like, which I think, you know, they're still doing their due diligence. You know, they've got to let the unsuccessful candidates know as well. Billy Goat, the Knicks have enough young players who already have 1 year experience with Kolek, McCullough, Dadier, Diawara, and Huck Porty. We're loaded now with youth. Look, Summer League's going to be fun, but we also have to look at it like, filter basically who's ready now, who needs a few more years, who's might not cut it, and we need to be ruthless. You know, like if McCullough can't stay healthy, I wouldn't give him a real roster spot. I just keep him on a two-way another year, because once he starts a rookie contract, the clock starts ticking. So I'll see what's up with McCullough after summer league. If he can stay healthy and he looks great, he might get a roster spot. Obviously, Dardier and Kolek, they're on guaranteed money, so they have to be ready to produce, or give you some minutes. Otherwise, we might look to make a trade. Huck Pority, I'm confident will be needed. He will be relied on just by pecking order, rotation wise. He should be the backup, assuming we're going to start Mitchell Robinson with Karl Anthony Towns. Without knowing how free agency is going to play out, this would be my my guess, as to like who's going to be the starting five on opening night. Mitchell Robinson alongside Cat. I think you've got to have Cat at the 4. Move Josh Hart to the bench, and you increase your defense and rebounding. Let us know how you see. Otherwise, if Mitch doesn't start, I don't see you could start Josh Hart again and give up floor spacing. So yeah, Borrego had a good season with the Hornets. I think he got them into the playoffs. There was one outstanding year. I think he won 44 games with the Charlotte Hornets. But obviously the roster sucks, guys, and he does have a losing record overall. Looks like Hunter Salas is out of here. Appreciate it, Darren. Hunter Salas agreed a two-way with Philly. See, I'm not going to sweat too much about the undrafted guys, but it would be nice to pick up another guy that has a chance to be something, like an RJ. Eric Dixon, Hunter Salas is gone from contention. So we'll wait to see. Mohamed Diawara has shared a 2023 photo of him together with Mohamed Diawara. So those two French wing prospects came up together, and it does look like we're putting a lot of stock into that, into the French connection. Was Lachlan picked up? Great point. Lachlan hasn't been picked up yet, I think. So, actually, no, maybe he did get drafted. Let me pull this up. Yes, Lachlan Olbrich. He did get picked up late in the second round. Yeah, he did get drafted and traded to Chicago, Stanley. So Lachlan Olbrich did get picked up, went to Chicago. Yeah, Frankie Ntilikina over there in Europe. But Jimmy says Borrego will play the bench and will run a 10 to 11 man rotation. Good X's and O's. Yeah, I do remember. His offense is decent. I do remember there was a lot of movement, shooting and pace and space. I always said, whoever gets the job is obviously going to kill the interview, because a lot of these guys can coach. They got experience, they got pedigree. It's whatever the front office is really looking to hear. If they could hit those buzzwords in the interviews and sell their vision on how they're going to get the most out of our squad. And I think we need to be done with the whole connections and who I'm close to and CAA and that. Just whoever is going to get the best out of it, whoever's going to be the best coach and can excel in the interview and sell their vision on getting the wins. Yeah, Yuri, I agree. The Jason Kidd thing looks like it sailed. I think he wants the job, but I think that he is a guy that, Dallas don't want to let go. Yeah, Darren's mentioning that Michigan 7-footer Vlad Golden is picked up on a two-way by the Miami Heat. So that's a smart pickup. Smart pickup from the Heat. Vlad Golden could be a backup to Bam Adebayo, definitely. He's got some skills offensively. He can finish around the basket. Yeah, you do need to look at that too, Lou, in terms of a guy getting the most out of the squad that they had. I mean, you look at the upgrade, like from Chicago, from Charlotte to this squad. I mean, if he brings his creativity and X's and O's to this squad, it'll be night and day compared to Charlotte. But look, we already know that this squad should be the favorite or second favorite out of the East. Maybe same as Cleveland, tied with the first odds to get out of the East. Anything less than that would be, a sidestep or a step back. We need to be focused on the NBA Finals now. The roster has got to hopefully add some more depth via free agency. We don't have a lot to spend, but if we hit on a couple of the veteran minimum guys and a couple of the young players make a step up, that'll be better than last year. Tibbs didn't play Precious Achua. He didn't play, Dardier at all. He didn't play Huck Porty enough. He was playing Jericho. And then he didn't play Landry enough until late in the series. So bearing in mind, if we can add a couple of good free agents on the minimum, there might be guys like, Gary Trent, in a wishful scenario, but maybe Keon Ellis, Yabusele, and hopefully we can just come back with some more depth, and we should be favored in the East. Micah Norrie as well. I think he left a really good impression. Neymar. So keep an eye out for that. We've got to stay locked in with the beat and find out who's the leading candidate. I do like Kelly Oubre too. If we can get him on a minimum, that would be a good pickup. So as we get ready to wrap up from tonight, obviously we'll be back on tomorrow too. We'll provide a wash up. We'll know a bit more about our new Knick, our prospect, Mohamed Diawara, a guy who will be coming into Summer League. We know that. As I bring up his highlights once again. He's got good connections with Mohamed Diawara and the league over there. Those two know each other well. He worked out for the Knicks, and the workout paid off. A defense-first guy, and let's go from here, fam. More two ways coming, but nothing relating to the Knicks yet. I don't know where RJ is going to go yet as a best available guy on an undrafted deal. Darren, I don't believe Dink Pate. Has Dink Pate got selected by someone yet on a two-way? Izan Ilmansa is still a name worth looking at. Bryce Williams. I'm sure the Knicks will use one of their two-ways if there's a guy that they actually like. Otherwise, they could be saving it for James Nagy. I wouldn't mind if we kept Marjon Beauchamp around. He's an experienced young guy on the wing spot. He's a guy that we might keep around on a two-way as well. So it is very, very interesting, man. On that note, we get ready to wrap this baby up, man. Marathon stream, 3 hours now, hit on the clock. as the Knicks will select Mohamed Diawara with the 51st pick, sliding down just one spot and getting the rights to a stash player, an older stash player in a future deal. But the story is all about Mohamed Diawara, and at 20 years old, a defensive prospect playing overseas with some upside offensively. As you see, with his length, he can handle the ball. But in terms of how it plays out, man, he is raw, and he's going to need some extra developing. So we may be focused on our current young players, and this guy can just cook for a little bit longer. And we focus more on the other guys. Everyone in the building, appreciate you for hanging out with us tonight. This is another Knicks draft night in the books. One of the more forgettable draft nights, but we are good as a ball club, only selecting late in the second round. And what a huge summer league free agency coming up. And Leon Rose in the front office. More pressure will be stacking up, as teams around the league are making moves right now. I like what Atlanta's done so far. I like what Orlando's done, but to me, they haven't done anything that's like put them on our level yet. But the way I look at it, guys, if you're not doing something, you're standing still. So we need to add more depth. We need to, improve, hopefully via the summer league guys as well. And yeah, keep it locked in. Season 3, the streets are buzzing, says AP. Jimmy says peace. Everyone in the building, bless up, big up. And this is the guy we picked up tonight. And we'll see overnight. I'm sure there'll be some reports tonight of the Knicks, giving an undrafted guy a chance. But it's a case of the guys we currently have is our priority, I feel. Look at that Summer League squad. We're already bringing in James Nagy, who was the 31st pick from 2 years back. So he's going to come in, and hopefully he looks the goods right now. But Mohamed Diawara was our first round pick last year. Didn't get really many chances. Let's hope that he's really, our draft pick this year and can play real minutes. Tyler Kolek, I think, will get a shot. I think Kevin McCullough is that wild card, mystery man. We'll find out about him as well, everyone. So, peace. We'll see you tomorrow night. Let's go.